Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War, Bedlam Media's premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I'm Sam the SLB, future governor of NXT. We're getting close, 1 point shy, guys. And co-host of ATR's War, ATR Rising Sun. And alongside me today is the man behind X Wrestling's Nostradamus, Scott.
Well, we got plenty to talk about. Obviously, this weekend, Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match. We got that to talk about. We got some deadline results and much more.
And rounding out the cast, join us once again, the unabridged underwriter, the man with all the stats, John the Stat Man.
Hey guys, Maven here. What is it? The unabridged
underwriter.
Unabridged underwriter. I love
these. An interesting occupation. I'll take it.
I was trying to figure out something else. I was like abridged, unabridged, and I really thought on that one.
Mortgage,
it's not as funny as the other one the other week.
Not a mortgage one, an unabridged one. All right.
It usually works when it like the letters, the phonics at the beginning sound the same. Anyways, guys, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, TikTok. We have our Discord. Follow us there as well. A couple things going on. We are at the end of the year. In a week from now, we got Final Bedlam live, 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be live streaming it. Join the chats. We will be talking, reading the chats. I'm actually really excited. The more I think about it, I'm super, super excited for this.
Yeah.
But to add to that, this Saturday, technically tomorrow, is John Cena's last match. We will be live streaming that as well. The four of us, I think, are all involved in that. Yep. So join the chat. See the craziness that goes on in the chat and what happens on John Cena's last match. Where do we start? Results?
Yeah, deadline sounds good.
Yep. All right, I'll go through the results. I really don't have to tell the results, but I'm going to. For the brand. Ethan, he sent me, it's like a poker rap this time. So, obviously, you know the results from deadline. If you haven't, I guess we can go through them. Everyone goes through them. I don't know why I overlooked these. Come on. All right. Obafemi wins the NXT title. Kendall Gray wins the Iron Survivor Challenge. Ethan Page retains the North American title. Izzy Dame defeats Tatum Paxley. And Javon Evans wins the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. I'm going to read off Ethan's notes, and then we can all hop on this if there's anything else you want to add. Deadline ratings. The title match, 7 out of 10. The Women's Iron Survivor, 9 out of 10. North American title match, 6 out of 10. Tatum versus Izzy, 5 out of 10. Men's Iron match, 8 out of 10. MVPs for the women's, Kendall Gray. The men's is Javon and Leon Slater. He also adds, Deadline was better than Survivor Series. Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka are the only two women to be runner-ups twice. Jordan 23 and 25, and Ruka 24-25. He also... I'm just going to read this all off, and then we can just get back to deadline. Last time is now ratings. He gave me first round, Carmelo and Reed, 7 out of 10. Penta and Finn, 7 out of 10. Quarterfinals, Jane Russo, 5 out of 10. Knights and Miz, 6 out of 10. Gunther and Carmelo, 8 out of 10. I don't know how he does this. Smoke break. Sol and Penta, due to Penta's leg getting injured, not available. Jay and Knight, 6 out of 10. Gunther and Solo, 7 out of 10. The finals, Gunther and Solo, 7 out of 10. Dude, wow. You really went all in on this.
He does. It's insane. This is why he needs to be cloned. This is also why he's not here, because he's still on assignment.
Well, there's some AEW stuff. There's some New Japan stuff here. I will add to that in a minute, but I'm going to say one of his jokes. He gave me 2 jokes to read this week. What do lesbians and mechanics have in common? They both use strap-on tools.
Okay.
Yes, the groan was perfect. Yes.
Well, the other one's just more wrestling related. What does Jacob Fatu say when he wears polo shirts? I love you, Polo.
Oh God, I was about to say something similar.
All right. Deadline, Scott. You want to add anything to that?
His ratings were pretty spot on. I thought the women's Iron Survival match was better than the men's. Both were great. The last 2 minutes of both was just insanity. and that's like it got me almost out of my chair both times. It's good. It's good stuff. Ethan Page and Mr. Iguana, I thought was a fun comical wrestling match. Obviously, Mr. Iguana being the comedy character, but he knows how to wrestle, and Ethan Page just being Ethan Page. It's just it's just good stuff. I had no real problems with this entire show. And I will actually agree with him. I think it was better than Survivor Series.
John, anything to add to that, or are we good to move forward?
I trust both Scott and Ethan's opinion on it.
All right. Well, we will move forward then, because we got a couple of topics. The next one, this dropped after we recorded. Of course it did, because why wouldn't it? It has been announced that Warner Brothers is going to be acquired by Netflix for $82 billion. John, I don't know if you have the article up. I know it is a lot more complicated than, they're just acquiring the whole brand.
Oh my God. Yeah, they're going to be acquiring. I think I sent off a list of things that they will be acquiring.
But there's also stuff they're not taking too.
Yeah, apparently, well, because I think what we're getting at here is what is going to happen to AEW in this case. And from what I sent you guys last week when it happened was it seems like what the plan is now that it's going to, there's certain, I guess what I don't know what you would call it, entities or parts of Warner Brothers Discovery that are going to be, because I think the plan for Warner Brothers Discovery was to kind of divide itself again. They merged and then now they're trying to separate, or they're going to separate once again. And so with AEW, it looks like I have it right here from PW Insider. Netflix is not purchasing the linear channels owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. Those channels will be spun off into a new separate publicly traded company known as Discovery Global. Among those linear channels are TBS and TNT, which carry AEW programming. After acquisition of HBO Max, where the rights to AEW in terms of streaming lands remains to be seen. Okay. Yeah, I wondered that. I'm like, what's going to happen to HBO Max now? Is it going to go away?
I did see something after the fact that Netflix had put out. They actually sent me an email because I'm a Netflix subscriber. They said that HBO Max is staying a separate entity for now. To the future, we're not sure. But I think AEW's deal with HBO Max is gonna stay until it's done, and then after that, who knows? I would assume probably not. It would go to another platform, but for now, I think they're pretty safe where they are for however long their deal is.
So, going through this article from eWrestling about it, AEW will remain on HBO Max rather than moving to a new Turner Sports or network streaming service. Additionally, due to AEW's existing contract with HBO Max, the promotion is expected to continue on the platform through 2027. However, there are rumors that WB has the option to extend the media rights deal with AEW through 28, and any acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery would likely encounter heavy government regulation and legal scrutiny. Yeah. So pretty much there's a chance it could go to 28 or through 28.
And I'm pretty sure that they're going to get sued out the wazoo anyways to block this from happening. I think there's already probably stuff already starting with it. So this may take forever for it to actually happen.
Not happen.
Exactly. It may not happen. You're right.
Yeah.
So for now, it's still, I don't think AEW has anything to worry about staying on.
If this does happen, if this does go through, I kind of see it like the case with Disney and Hulu. Disney has owned Hulu. I don't know how long now, for a little bit. And Hulu's been a separate thing for that amount of time too.
Yep.
But now I think starting next year, Hulu is going to become part of Disney Plus and it's going to go away.
Yeah. Everything's just going to get absorbed into Disney Plus. They've already started to do it.
I see the same thing happening with this. I think HBO Max, if this happens, HBO Max will be a separate thing for a little while longer, and then Netflix will just absorb everything.
Yep.
Or Or I don't. You might go the route. It could be like their premium offering. Maybe it's like, hey, you're paying. We might be looking at a whole new world of streaming. I swear we talk about streaming this year more than wrestling. But like, I'm wondering if you start tiering the packages out, where it's like, all right, if you're paying for nothing, you get the ads as like Netflix Basic. You pay the what, $14.99, you get Netflix Plus, let's say, and then if you want the premium, you're paying for it's HBO. So I wonder if you do it like a tier style.
It's definitely possible. It's
know.
all of this is certainly starting to sound like cable. So
You read my mind. Yeah,
it's funny. I know you said it a long time ago. I had a feeling the moment we started going to streaming, and it's like, because originally it was Netflix, and then you'd have all these other TV channel, cable, and you would buy your films. All right. Oh, HBO. You can get HBO and Netflix. Cool. We'll get that.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's grown. It's like, oh, at this point,
yeah,
you might as well just have cable.
I saw it from the beginning. Like I even told people, I said, it's fine. If you don't want to have cable, you want to cut the cord, that's all good and fine. But I said, just wait. In a few years, you're going to be paying as much for all these different streaming services as you would for cable. And it's hilarious now because I've always had cable. I didn't make the cut or anything. My Spectrum sends me text messages constantly. Oh, with your Spectrum account, you have access to all of these streaming services. Oh shit, look at that. So I can cancel all my subscriptions because now I get it for free with my cable. Look at that. It made the complete circle. We're right back to where we started, folks.
And half the time, I mean, you even to add to that, even when you're paying, you get the ads on the TV shows.
Yeah, you can't get away from ads anymore. Like, even if you pay the top stuff, they'll still sneak them in.
Yeah, and one of the, I'm gonna recklessly plug here. I've been using Tubi a lot.
Yep.
Tubi and Pluto TV. They're free services. They got way better content.
Their stuff's got a lot better.
I gotta go on this little rant. Netflix is absolute trash when it comes to content. Trash.
Yeah,
they got nothing.
Yeah, their original stuff is. I mean, they've had a good original movie here and there, but like the majority of their shows have been kind of they've been kind of trash.
But you go to Tubi, and I they had Indiana Jones movies. They have like A-list movies. The Dark Knight. I literally pulled it up just now. Half the stuff you cannot find. Oh, and they got Evolve. Just as we're talking about wrestling,
right?
But overall, I think even if HBO, like you're saying, gets absorbed completely with the TNA deal with AMC, I would not be surprised if everyone right now is still looking for a wrestling program.
I agree. Yeah.
It's still hot. I would say we're at the tail end of the Renaissance era. 2018, let's say 2018, 2019 to now. People still want something. NWA was on CW for a while. So, but again, that also goes with quality.
Right.
And I guess not so, because I guess the WWE pay-per-views have been ass and ESPN hasn't been liking that. So,
yeah. Did we ever actually get a rating for Survivor Series? I forgot to look.
Let's do it here.
I wonder.
Because, honestly, out of the 3 that they've had so far, only one of them has been good. The other 2 are kind of, especially WrestlePalooza was like, why did we start with this one? And SummerSlam was like middle of the road. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was just like, it wasn't great either. It was just like, okay.
I'm just getting a bunch of ESPN articles. We should ask Ethan if we got a rating.
Or I wonder if they stop the ratings altogether. You know what? This is not worth doing.
Right. Oh, even though the guy that's doing it has been doing it forever. And They just really haven't. They've just been an article on ESPN. But yeah, like he got a lot of heat for his WrestlePalooza one, and which I mean, honestly, his rating wasn't terrible. I think they gave it like a C or a C minus. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. It really wasn't that
That's
great of a
yeah.
PLE. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not great.
But it's passing. No,
get
that's
C's, get
yeah,
degrees.
I was gonna say that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is. I know we were kind of worried. Was it Warner Brothers Discovery going on originally? We've already done this once with AEW.
What do you mean?
There was a merger.
Oh yes, yeah.
Mhm. When
Yeah.
who did Warner Brothers get? Was it Discover? Who the hell is the parent company?
I thought they just merged.
Was it a? Well, I know we had concerns then too. So I mean, the product's still there, and
Yeah.
granted, it's not anything they have to really spend money on production. They have a contract, and boom.
Yep.
I think that's a big thing because we were talking about that like what a year ago, where it was like
Mm.
they want to get away from pre-scripted television. They want to spend less money, so they're going to do a lot more like live TV and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not gonna kill anything.
No, I think it's going to be business as usual. You know, we'll figure out what they want to do if they're going to extend it into 28, or if not, then they'll hold on through 27. So they still got a full year and a half, maybe a full 2 years until they have to really figure out where else they're going to live. And even then, I'm sure that probably at some point next year they're already going to start putting feelers out if Warner Brothers is not going to push them into 28 to try to find a new home for their pay-per-views. And as long as their product continues to do well, it doesn't have to be great, but as long as it does well, they should be fine. They should be picked up by somebody, and then if not, then they can go back to the traditional pay-per-view route for a while until somebody picks them up.
Well, we'll be definitely keeping an eye on this. Well, big topic, obviously. Tomorrow, as of when this drops, will be John Cena's last match. It's set in for me because I was just like, oh yeah, I got things going on, Christmas going on. It's like, oh yeah, John Cena's last match, and it's like, oh no, this is it.
Yep.
This is it. I've had a couple of people come to me and be like, hey, what if it's not? What if he's faking it, faking out? I'm like, this is
nope.
This is I don't think they're going the Eagles route here. They're not retiring for the 30th time.
No.
It's funny. Last night, well, let me do a couple nights ago, I watched the interviews that he did with CVV and with what the hell is his name? The last name is Rinaldi. I can't remember his first name. On the WWE YouTube channel, and they actually talked about that. And John had said that unlike like musicians that can retire multiple times, have these tours and all that stuff, he's like, that's fine. That's not a knock on them. He's like, this is it. And so I've watched these interviews. It's an hour with Rinaldi and then an hour and a half with CVV, and it hit me like all at once. I'm like, Saturday's gonna suck. It's gonna be an emotional night. And I joke about like, oh, I remember seeing it from day one, but then I kind of thought about it, and I remember, I do remember that SmackDown, and just like, who the hell is this kid? Because honestly, at that point in my life, I had no idea what OVW was. I didn't know what the indies were. I grew up WCW, WWF. That was my wrestling. And then eventually I found ECW, and then obviously the change to WWE and whatnot. But I had no idea what all this indie stuff is. It's like, oh, where'd this new kid come from with these terrible, shorts and all this ruthless aggression? And thinking back on it, it's like I've watched his entire career unfold like before my eyes. Like I was never a huge Cena fan, like ever. Like even during his runs where Mark would always text me, "LOL, Cena wins," because he was a demon for a while and he never lost a match. And I was always just like, well, I know, don't bet against Cena during this time because he's not gonna lose. The whole thing with him and with Rock going to Hollywood, and then Cena following in his footsteps, and it's like, you son of a bitch, how dare you leave us? And then he comes back, and the crowd, the whole "let's go Cena, Cena sucks" things, and it's just like, it's been a wild ride to sit back and relive watching all that stuff happen, and then realize that on Saturday it's going to come to a screeching halt. And I don't mean because it's retirement. I mean because Gunther is going to put this man in the ground. I hate to say it, but Gunther said it on Raw. Cena may be the greatest sports entertainer of all time, but Gunther is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. This match is going to be sports entertainment versus professional wrestling. It's Vince McMahon's image versus Triple H's image. TKO has said that they want to separate themselves from the Vince McMahon image of wrestling. This is the perfect way to bury that for good. I would laugh my ass off if Gunther pulls out a golden shovel at some point during this match, because that's what everybody had said, that Cena was always the barrier with the golden shovel and everything else. This match is going to be very emotional. I'm getting chills just thinking about the shit that might happen during this match. We very well may see John Cena tap out for only the 5th time in his career, and be the first time since I think 2005. It's gonna be nuts. And yeah. I'll get off my soapbox now.
What are the chances this is a squash?
If they were to open the show and they do that to him, I feel like their viewership will drop off so fast it's not even funny. If they go on last, it can't be a squash, because it can't be the last image of, he beats him faster than Brock did. They actually touched on that on one of the interviews that I had watched. Like there were necessary things that needed to happen in his retirement tour to make his match with AJ Styles as special as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he said having everybody get pissed off about how Brock beat him in 8 minutes, allowed everybody to really want something special, and then they ended up with Cena and Styles. And so I feel like we're gonna have one hell of a match, but it's a definite, I would say, greater than 50% odds that Cena's gonna tap out in his last match. I don't like it, but I think it's gonna happen.
The thing I have about this last match is I like Gunther. I just don't want him to be the guy that just retires everybody. Like, he just retired Goldberg.
Yep.
Now he's going to retire Cena. I wish he had a different opponent than Gunther. Not because Gunther's not good. Just he already retired somebody. That's where I'm getting at here.
Right. My only thing with that is, if he's gonna do that, then have him continue doing it. Like do it with AJ Styles, because AJ Styles is retiring next year.
Yeah.
Maybe he could be the final one to put R-Truth down for good. Stuff like that. Like he can take out the favorites. The ones who are towards the end of their career. That could be his. I don't want to say his gimmick, but that could be his thing.
Yeah.
Like Gunther's literally the final boss. and nobody can beat him. Because Gunther's not young either, so somebody eventually is going to come along and actually take him out. Oh, Sam disappeared. He'll be back though.
Well, so long, Sam.
Sam's upset that
Oh, there he is.
I don't know why that's happened like twice today.
It's all right. It's going to happen to all of us. We're all going to bounce around. We're all going to get cut out. It's just it's what happens here.
Yeah, I too would have preferred a better opponent. I love Gunther, Walter, if you will. However, especially listen to Cena's Rogan interview. I don't know if either of you have listened to that yet.
That's the only one I forgot about when I was listening to everything. So I do need to go back and listen to that one.
Cena, he might be the most level-headed person who's on top of the world I've ever heard talk. Because when he was, he was talking about, I'll summarize some of this. So he talks about, obviously, the whole China incident where he missaid something. I think he mentioned Taiwan being a country. It is.
Oh, geez.
To the Chinese media, and they don't acknowledge that, and he had to do it in an apology tour. He apologized to China, but then everyone in the States was pissed off at him. The big thing I took out of this, he goes, I never, first of all, he never blames anybody for any. He goes, it's always going to be on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never go, oh, that's that person's fault, or if they weren't involved. He goes, it's all on me. So he's holds himself highly accountable.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is he always wants to make him. He doesn't care what he said after he retires. He doesn't care what he wants to make sure he has value.
Mm-hmm.
And in regard to we talk about him retiring, he wants the new talent to go over. He wants to hand it off. He doesn't care about. It's less about him, it sounds like, and more about everyone coming after him.
Yeah.
One of the other things that came up is Joe asked, "Hey, what's your next goal? Get an Oscar, this and that." He goes, "I just want to make sure I'm using my time to the best of, the best that I can.
Mm-hmm.
That I always am taking opportunities if they come up, and I won't regret anything that I don't do, if you will." So very motivating talk, which is kind of my when we were talking earlier, Scott. That's what I've been thinking about all week. It's a good motivator.
Yeah, I would recommend if you haven't watched those other two that I talked about. Especially the one with Ronaldo. It was just just some of the stuff he talked about was great. And obviously CCV's always has a wonderful interview anyways. And so it's funny, they didn't talk about the China stuff. So that'll be interesting for me to listen to talking with Joe Rogan. So yeah, I will definitely make sure I watch that before Saturday.
John, you got anything you want to add?
I think that what I wanted to maybe segue into was some of retrospectively talk about our favorite the favorite things we saw on television that had John Cena in them. Scott was I can't do this. I can't do this.
Scott's like, it's too much. I can't do it, man.
He doesn't want to retrospect.
What did I say? We're all going to drop. So, John, unfortunately, you're next.
All right. I'm next.
Favorite things.
Yeah. Well, for me, I remember the first SmackDown I went to was 2004 or something like that. I think Kurt Angle was the general manager in the wheelchair or whatever, and he was giving Cena a hard time. And I remember he came out, he was the doctor of thugonomics, and it was Booker T was in the ring. I think Rene Dupree, Kenzo Suzuki, some throwback names in there.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember that was the first time I saw John Cena. And he was popular then. That was before he became even more popular at the following year. And then 2005 rolled around, and he did a signing nearby. Him and the Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, were both there. I met her as well. She was nice. So I know she gets a lot of heat these days, but she was nice. Yeah, I met John at that time, and like he was nice. I was just a 15-year-old kid, so I didn't really know anything then. And then it was just seeing his rise after that at multiple events. I think one of my favorite things with him was how hostile the territory was at ECW One Night Stand in 2006 with him and Rob Van Dam. They hated him. Like that was nuclear. That was nuclear heat that night.
Yeah. I miss that. Like that was talking about that first, or actually that wasn't even the first one night stand. That was the second one, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, that was like him throwing the shirt and then
I
throwing it back like 4 or 5 times.
I didn't see the reaction, but I saw a thumbnail of it. Apparently, somebody showed him the original "If Cena wins, we riot" sign to him recently,
Nice.
and I don't know what his reaction was, but I'm sure he was like, "Oh my!" like shocked.
That was
I'll
like a
have to go
bed
back and
sheet,
find
wasn't
that.
it?
Yeah, that was a long. That was not like a Staples poster. That was a long thing. Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that. That was a good match. That's I
That and
mean,
his feud with Edge as one that was one of the best feuds I've ever seen. Uh, I think he just like the stuff he said about Lita and
oh
just
my
like
god.
stuff that would get you really canceled these days.
The what was it when he won the belt and he was it him and Edge and her did the
The live sex
But yeah, the live
celebration,
sex
yeah,
celebration, yeah. God.
yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember watching that as a as a young chap.
Yep. God. And even that was tame compared to some of the stuff that they used to do back in the Attitude Era. But yeah, that was wild. Um I don't have like an actual like moment for me. It's just I would just been doing a lot of thinking about like his whole like body of work. Um especially this last week coming up. Because you look back when he announced this at Money in the Bank in 24, he's like, next year is it for 2025. And then he has 36 dates, which they talked about. Out of those 36 dates, he's had or will have 18 matches. So it's a nice perfect symmetry right there. It's just I remember the beginning of January 6th when they did the first Raw on Netflix, and it's just like, this is the beginning of the end, and I'm just like, oh, we got plenty of time. And then a few months go by, like, oh, we still got time, everything's good, and now it's like, this is it, this is all we got left. So he did apparently sign a 5-year like ambassador type thing, so he's not going away, he's just
Yeah.
never wrestling again. And I really hope that he does stick to that, because obviously we've seen other wrestlers that have retired and then not retire. I'm looking at you, Ric Flair. Even Shawn Michaels said he was done, and then some country threw money at him, and then he decided to come back for a match, and then of course Triple H had to sell his pectoral for it. So that ended up being a dud. I hope Goldberg's done for good. He had his retirement via Gunther. So we might have. I hope that whatever happens next with Cena in wrestling, I would assume he'll probably be the lead for the 26 class, because it looks like Stephanie's going to be the lead for this upcoming class, which is well deserved. I am very interested to see who else is going to be added to this class as well. But yeah, it's just looking back over everything for Cena. John, you had mentioned Edge. I feel like he's really the big missing piece of this whole tour, because he had such a long-lasting feud with Cena and it's a very memorable feud. And not having him there to at least acknowledge. I mean, I know that he did something on AEW programming to acknowledge John Cena, which is great and all. I think Samoa Joe just did something recently on Dynamite. I think Joe and Cena would have been a lot of fun too. I don't know. I hope against hope, because I've read stuff that there's supposed to be some surprises for Saturday night's main event for Cena. If they were able to strike up, a deal with AEW to at least have Edge say something about it during the show, I think that would be really nice. Daniel Bryan would be another nice one too, even though apparently he's completely gone off the internet radar, and he said in an interview that he hasn't watched any of John's stuff, but he hopes it's gone really well for him. I'm like, come on, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for Saturday, but I'm also aware that this is literally an end of an era.
Yeah. So I wanted to add to that, because as I was there's a lot. So as we've discussed plenty of times, I went through a big hiatus where I wasn't watching. John Cena was my personal favorite up until I think I stopped watching 2006, I think.
I stopped around 2007 or 8, probably.
Yeah. So I got out of it. And again, at that time, I even knew how fast wrestlers would come and go. I remember like Mordecai or Nathan Jones or all these people. They weren't even there. So I was like, to me, John Cena was still like a nobody. I'm like, nobody knows John Cena. He's probably been out of the game for a long time. And then John goes, "Hey, they're doing the brand split again. Do you want to go to the Providence show for Raw?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." And the opening segment of that, I think, was it after the GM announcement, was John Cena and AJ Styles during the feud. And I was like, it was just like one of those, wow. I go, he obviously stood the test of time at that point, but I was like, man, he's still in the company and he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of blew my mind. And another way to kind of that I was just looking it up just now, how much of an impact and I will never forget this. I will never forget the day he introduced the spinner title. And a lot of people like, that is stupid. Sure, it's stupid. But it was so stupid that they had it for 8 years. Yeah, I just had to Google it. The WWE spinner belt was used as the primary championship design from April 12th, 2005 until February 18th, 2013, lasting nearly 8 years. That was me in middle school to my last year of college. That, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anybody has had that much impact to change the belt for that long. To a design that they had chosen.
Nope.
No, yeah. You are correct. Yeah. And it's funny how when both of you left, you missed the entirety of the LOL Cena wins, like thing that I mentioned about with Mark. That's crazy. And I know like you guys have gone back at times and seen some of the stuff that he's done during that time, but yeah, it was wild. It was almost like you don't want to bother watching the match because you know the ending already. So it's kind of like, whatever. And that kind of, for me, that kind of sucked a little bit because it's just like I said, he wasn't like, oh my God, he wasn't the be all end all for me because, back then I had other favorites. I liked Cena. I didn't hate him like a lot of the men did in that crowd, which was always hilarious to me when the Let's Go Cena sucks chants. It was always the women and the children were always the Let's Go Cena, and all the men were the Cena sucks. It was hilarious. I loved it every single time. But yeah, man, I kind of don't want Saturday to happen.
He's he's been one of the wrestlers that I've never disliked him. Um, maybe because I started watching his rise at such a young age that I wasn't like a kid, but I was pretty young.
Yeah.
So maybe that has something to do with it, and it's just a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
A lot of nostalgia with him. Um, just the 16-year-old kid watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, and yeah, so it'll. I'm thinking about it more and more now as it approaches, and it's like, wow, I said that'll be it.
Yeah.
you know,
Um, I was when we're talking about this, it made me remember during Roman's run. I believe it was the Rumble of 2021 when he came back after 15 months, and Michael Cole's freaking out, saying, "Oh my God, Cena's here!" And then Pat McAfee with the ever iconic "Where?" It's just like he just knows how to make moments. And even with the heel turn this past year, like if the stuff with Travis Scott doesn't happen and like the fallout, I mean, and like they actually try to run with it, I think it would have worked a little bit better. But Cena actually talked about that too in those interviews, saying that normally with like these types of turns, like it takes a while to really kind of get the character over. So he's like, we had 36 dates, and they apparently they always wanted to turn him back face to towards the end of the run. So that cuts it down even more. So it's like he just there wasn't enough time, and the things happened like they did, and so it kind of fell flat on its face. But they still had a huge moment at Elimination Chamber. Um, just like the memes from that were outstanding. And then, of course, just recently at Survivor Series with Liv Morgan doing it back to him, which I thought was hilarious. That was a nice full circle moment with that shit. And Cena talked about how much he loved wrestling Dom and the whole Judgment Day, that last match. But yeah, so it's. I thought the final year, while it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 on the Ethan rate scale, I'd probably give it a good 7.5. There were some bad moments, but there were, for the overall, there was some
I
good
think
stuff.
the whole Travis Scott and The Rock thing is the smudge on the painting.
Yep.
I think, thankfully, it's not. I don't. People kind of make a big deal about it because it definitely messed up his run as a heel.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's still. I don't see it as a huge thing now because I've like Travis Scott. He's probably not going to come back.
No.
I don't think The Rock will come back either for a while, if not indefinitely. Um, so I don't really see it as a huge thing. It created a huge moment, a
Mhm.
huge surprising moment, and so I really try to remember it for that
Yeah.
at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, we will actually. You know what? Before we wrap that up, actually wrap it all up, because we're gonna have a lot of time to talk on the stream. Because it's gonna be a lot of commercials. Let's keep this in mind. We will have plenty of commercials. Um, it reminded me. We just had a conversation, Scott, and you wanted me to bring up this question from friend of the show, Mark.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. The hot take of the week.
The hot take of the week. So I'm going to read out the comment from Mark. I think this is a good conversation piece because we're talking about ratings. We're talking about everything going on
Mhm.
and Cena's impact. Coming in this morning with another hot WWE take. Do we think that after Cena's last appearance, WWE attendance numbers plummet? Even you guys, who are usually pretty positive about most wrestling, have been meh on WWE matches, stories, and business decisions lately. Do they actually have enough going for them right now to keep the momentum without Cena's tour propping them up?
Well, this is where I think timing is key. Because Cena's going to go away, so it'll probably dip for a little bit, but the Rumble's next month. It is in Saudi Arabia, yes, but it's still the Royal Rumble, and the day after. And I think what keeps people interested.
There it
See?
is.
There it
John's like, you know,
How,
people interested.
how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you cut me off? Not personally either one of you, but this stream.
It's funny because you're like, you know what keeps people interested, and you're gone. And I'm like, time.
That's exactly what it is.
Speaking of
Suspense.
That's right.
Suspense. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying, yeah. So I think what keeps people interested, at least for the next month or so, Chris Jericho coming back. That's what keeps people tuned in, at least for a little bit. And then, you're going to go from one person retiring, and then you're going to go to another one. Mm-hmm. So maybe it'll keep them afloat for a bit, if that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Cena might have 36 retirement days. Chris Jericho has 1,000. The first one is going to be on January 1st.
Same amount as
next one will be on January 10th. The third one, armbar.
I love that promo so much.
I think it's a mix. I think wrestling isn't casual it kind of is. I think the casual fans are a little less far and few between. There's still a big market to gather. I don't think it'll plummet that much from Cena. If it does, I mean, those are people who are just dedicated to John Cena and have no interest. And I don't know what what the market share is for that. Because at the same time that's going on, you would get to experience Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns is, I can't believe I'm saying this 10 years later. Roman Reigns is like still one of the top guys. Mm-hmm. Seth is pretty popular. Becky Lynch. The women's division right now is, solid. So there's still some talent out there that I think has people sucked in. With the Rumble and Mania as well. I think those two, if it is to dip, I would say it'd be after Mania.
And it normally would dip after Mania anyways. It's just a matter of how far will it dip. Right. But both of you bring up great points. We've all seen that WWE's momentum has dropped off since before WrestlePalooza. When that kind of came in and kind of laid an egg, we're all kind of like, oh shit, what's going on here? A lot of the stories that they've had have been okay, but everybody's been waiting on the next Cena appearance, especially since he turned face again. And we kind of go into a period where obviously Saturday is his last hurrah. We go into Christmas, New Year's, and then we roll into Royal Rumble season. I don't know. I'm on the fence with this. Like, I have high hopes that yes, it is Saudi, but they can throw money at people to have surprises for the Rumble, or it's gonna suck, and I don't want that because I love the Rumble. I've said this numerous times that the Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view, PLE, whatever the hell you want to call it, that WWE's ever come up with. It's just we don't know who's going to be there. As long as they don't show the graphic with 28 out of the 30 people, on the screen for who's going to be in the Rumble, the sense of mystery is always the best part. I know they talk about moving things to 2 days. They ever do the Rumble 2 days? I think that would be an opportunity to refresh the whole concept. See what they can do with it. So we'll see what they end up doing with that. And then after that, you got you start rolling into WrestleMania season. You got Elimination Chamber, which I always thoroughly enjoy because it's either for a number one contendership or it's for one of the major titles to go into Mania. So I think there's enough momentum to carry definitely into Mania. And then it's just what happens after that. I've been reading that there's going to be a lot of NXT call-ups soon, which I think now is the perfect time to do it. Don't wait until the Mania run. Do it slightly before, lead them into the Rumble, or even have them come in at the Rumble, and then that's where they start. It works. You talk about Jericho, John. That's a perfect timing to have him come in. He can immediately go into Elimination Chamber and challenge for a title or a number one contendership. Just to have another big name in there. Again, you roll into Mania after that. It's what happens when the season refreshes itself.
Yeah.
That's what we'll see. WWE has some top talent. They have a lot of in the middle talent. How many of those middle talents get pushed higher? That's really the question. They need to make stars because, their biggest one is leaving. So they need to have a good amount of future talent. That's why they need to stop screwing up the NXT call-ups. And I really hope, and I've mentioned this to Mark, because Mark was talking about like homegrown talent that the WWE can rely on. And I mentioned Obafemi. He was gone at the time because he had lost to Ricky Saints. I will always call him Ricky Starks. He left. Now he's back, and now he's NXT champion again. He actually has a match with Cody Rhodes on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. I hope Oba wins to stamp his arrival on the main roster. And I hope he just has an amazing Rumble experience. I would love for him to get either close or over the eliminations. And just, he doesn't have to win, obviously, but have a strong start. And then I feel like he could be an easy top guy for 15 years. He has that, the kids call it aura. He has it around him, and it's just it works. So I would put a lot of my money and a lot of my eggs in the Obafemi basket, because I feel like as long as he can stay healthy, that man can run this company for a long time. And I'm sorry I keep going on a lot of tangents on this episode.
No, you are perfectly fine.
Triple H's honeymoon period as the head guy now is definitely over, I think, especially with Cena leaving. I think this is where he has to double down on the people he has now and try and do the best that he can, because he's got to.
Yeah. The ice is thinning for some of the decisions that have been made recently. Yeah. And I know some of it's probably not him, but he's the one who's going to take the blame for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our preview, I guess, for John Cena's last match. Big Match John, if you will.
That's right. Where's JBL? God, he has to show up too. God damn it. Oh, and speaking of returns, I know John's very excited about this. Jesse the Body Ventura will be at Saturday Night's Main Event once again.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
He's gonna leave with John. He's like, it's finally time. Just up and go. Oh, before we wrap up, I forgot, because Ethan is gonna be on me on this one. Hey, buddy, I'm gonna read off the rest of your stuff quickly, and then we will sign out. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. All right. Ethan's picks of the week. He wanted to start doing this too, so I think this
All
is a
right.
good one.
Yeah,
We can
it's a
talk
good
about.
segment. Yeah.
7 out of 10s are honorable mentions. That's the rule from here on out. NXT, Obafemi taking on Javon Evans, 7 out of 10. AEW, Mike Bailey versus Kyle Fletcher, 9 out of 10. Actually solid. AEW World Title match, 7 out of 10 was pretty good. That was Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston for the title. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Bishamon versus War Dragons, 8 out of 10. World Tag League is going on right now. So KO Brothers taking on Uemura and Umino, 8 out of 10. And then Bishamon taking on TMDK, 9 out of 10. Guys, let's wrap this up. John, where can people find you at?
All right. The Statman is back on X. If you want at John the Statman, I'm causing all sorts of chaos there, talking about movies, wrestling, what have you, whatever I feel. That's where you find me.
And Scott, where can everyone find you at?
Everybody can find me at Scotty J Stream. I do all the non-Japanese wrestling stuff on X.
And you can find myself as YesWillBe Official on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I feel like there's something else. We have a Discord. Find us on Discord. I handled the Bedlam Media one. We actually, next week, Final Bedlam 5, we are going to have an announcement for the Bedlam Media brand. Not Above the Ring, for Bedlam Media. So it's out there, but we're going to save it. If you don't already know, we're going to save it for next week so you can listen. So you better listen. Please leave a comment, subscribe, tell people why Bedlam Media and Above the Ring is the podcast if you're choosing, and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, this has been Above the Ring. John Cena's last match is this weekend, and as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam.
Thanks, guys.